guys, it is Tanya and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another speed build. Today I am building a house in the world of Glimmerbrook on the Glimmerbrook Watch lot, which is a 30 by 20 lot, and it's coming in at 80,336 simoleons. So this is supposed to be a little bit overgrown, kind of whimsical, a little bit magical looking, but not really, for spellcasters' grandmother's home in the middle of the woods. I just had this idea in my head of doing something that was a little bit more pastel and looked really beautiful on the outside and was light and fresh and airy on the inside. I don't know if that came through. You guys can let me know. But before we get any further into this, because it is a grandma's home, I wanted to mention this is not for the Sparked Challenge. I actually started this home before that was even announced, and it doesn't qualify for a few different reasons. I don't have a specific room in the house dedicated to a special interest. And B, I use the tool mod. So I am not qualified for this anyway, but I did want to share this and it was just kind of weird timing. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. But I am working on the outside here. I did use some of these mosquito windows to make a beautiful sunroom over here. And that is actually where the dining space is going to go. I think that came out really nicely and I was very happy with it. I just had a lot of fun with this build, doing this up on a hill and having all sorts of landscaping going up, which is the main reason I used the tool mod, was to tuck some of the landscaping down and have like a fence and stuff that wasn't floating with the different terrain. You can kind of see that coming together, adding all of the plants. There's a bunch of ivy going up the house as well. And obviously the main color scheme here is blue, pink, and white, which is not one I typically use. So it's kind of exciting to do something a little bit different. Just adding a bump out on this side and then working on some of the window placement. I did use a majority of the windows from Strangerville, which is what all those pink windows are. And then the big windows are from the Mosquito Stuff Pack. But the Strangerville ones were perfect because they're white and pink. And I don't know, I thought they were so cutesy for this build. And so, of course, I used a lot of the matching Strangerville things inside. Like, I believe the railing from that pack and the doors. And I did make a decision at some point whether or not I should use the pink swatch of those on the inside or the white swatch, and I went with the white ones in the end. You'll see that in a little while because I thought it was overwhelming to have everything pink on the inside. I didn't want it to be overly that color, if that makes sense. I wanted it to look really light and pretty on the inside, not just like pink is everywhere, because it's definitely not a vibe I quite enjoy. However, out front here, we are working on shoving this fence into the ground. I think it worked out nicely. And I also did the same thing with that pink tree over on the left side of the house. And it just looks so pretty. Oh my goodness. I was so excited. That's one of my favorite trees in Debug. It's from, it's in Show Live Edit Objects and it comes with Get Together, which is my favorite pack to grab landscaping items from Show Live Edit Objects. It has the best stuff. And that tree is definitely one of my favorites. It's hard to make it work sometimes, though, because it's just such a statement tree. It's bright pink, and I just thought it worked perfectly for this house. I think the color of the tree really helped to bring out those little pink accents in the windows and in the trim on the exterior of the home. Since they are a lot more minor than, the bright, well, it's not bright, the apparent blue color of the house. It's definitely not a bright blue, but I really liked how the tree brought out those little pink accents, basically. Moving on to the interior, I'm going to be working on the floor plan here. I did cut out a good chunk of this because I struggled. I rotated these stairs and configured them many different times, and some of that is still here, but only a sliver of it. I could not figure out where to put those stairs at all. And then, of course, making a floor plan around that was very difficult if I didn't know where to put them. But I'm adding this section to make it a little bit wider up top. And then I moved the roof over and then some of these roof decorations, which I thought was nice. And now I'm doing this thing where I place random furniture in different rooms. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be the living room. This is going to be the kitchen, all of that. And go from there, just trying to plan it out a little bit. It's definitely not the furniture we're going to keep, but it just helps me visualize the space a little bit better. But this ends up being a 2-bedroom One could have been a bedroom or office, but it's for a cat instead. So I guess it's a 3-bedroom house, and it's got 3 bathrooms as well. But we are working on the kitchen now. I started by using these base game counters, but I did swap them out for these Realm of Magic ones instead. I sometimes forget we have this swatch of them, and they're still really busy and intricate, and I don't feel like in a lot of builds they make sense. But since I was really going for a more whimsical feel here, and it was for a grandma, I was like, you know what, these are perfect. So I was quite excited to use these countertops, since they are just not one I get to use very often because they're very particular. So that's what we're using there. And then when you first walk in, I wanted to add a spot for a closet, but over here is going to be where the dining table goes. So I played around with layering curtains. I changed the colors of these a few times, but I'm pretty sure I kept with that combo of having the longer curtains from Eco Lifestyle and then those shorter ones from Island Living. And then the table, I believe I went all base game over here. I thought about using those chairs from Cats and Dogs, but went base game in the end because it felt right. The Cats and Dogs ones I really like, but I use them really often, and they just didn't quite fit the way I wanted them to. But adding some wreaths on the door over here, some more plants in general. I tried to add a decent amount of plants in this house. I didn't want it to feel too over the top, but I wanted it to bring a little bit of life to the interior, especially because I was using so many whites and light wood colors to bring some of that beautiful greenery in. I thought helped out the space and just made it seem a little bit more magical and like the idea I had in my head. Like I said in the beginning, I don't know if I'm getting through like a specific style that you guys are familiar with, but this is exactly what I was thinking. Is I wanted outside to be a little bit more colorful and be in the woods and a little overgrown, and then inside to be really light. And hopefully that makes sense and it came through. But over in this window in the dining room or living room, that's not a dining room, I do have like a bay window seat, and then I'm working on the main seating spot. So I did end up using these high back chairs and love seat from Cats and Dogs. I think they are so pretty, but I have trouble using them because I feel like they need to be against a wall because they are so high up that it kind of cuts off a space, or it cuts off the space in a room that you're working in if you're putting them in the center. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just feels like it's dividing it too much. So I do have the love seat and one chair kind of tucked off to the corner, and I thought they looked really nice. I do associate that style of furniture with grandparents. I think a lot of the furniture in Cats and Dogs specifically do, partially because my grandmother had a lot of it and currently still does. And also, I live in New England and this is the style of furniture we have here, so it makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, I did use that furniture. And then over here is the main bathroom on the bottom floor. It's a very spacious bathroom. It even has its own toilet room, which is not something I do very often in bathrooms. But we had so much space. I thought, you know what, why not? I think all of the bathrooms have the shower tub combo in them, and I used that base game one because, once again, it feels very grandma to me. And then out on the back patio here, we have this dining table and everything you need to do laundry outside. So there's no laundry machines in this house, but there is a wash bucket and a clothing line. But we're going to be moving on to the front porch now. And out here I have a few planters, a place to sit, as well as an easel. I also used this lamp. Is this a base game one too? I don't think I've ever used it. And it was very helpful that I was using Tool in this build because if you're not familiar with Tool, you need to have somebody living on the lot to use it because it only works in live/live mode depending on which one you use. I feel like I interchange them, so I don't know which one to say most of the time. But you needed somebody to live there, so since I had somebody living on this lot as I was building it, I could change the light colors in the different rooms, and that was helpful because I thought it was too bright and yellow in the kitchen, but we fixed it. But I just talked over pretty much the entire grandmother's bedroom. I think it came out pretty nicely, once again using a lot of Cats and Dogs. Both bedrooms in here use Cats and Dogs beds, and this one I was imagining was for grandkids coming over. I think it came out pretty cute. There's some toys and stuff. It's not overly decorated because I didn't imagine that the kids lived here, but you could definitely tell that story in this house, have grandma who is raising her grandkids. I think that's a really cool storyline, so definitely an option. And then this is the hall bathroom, and then there is an ensuite off of grandma's room as well. I think I decorated that one off camera, if I'm remembering correctly. But she has her own ensuite, and then there is the hall bathroom. And then the last room up top here is going to be the cat's bedroom. So that's a bit of fun, I suppose. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video here. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications to be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Also, information down below on how you can download this house. Enjoy the screenshots. Bye, everybody.